I think like in the workplace, remote working, dispersed teams it's here. It's not going anywhere. I know there are a lot of organizations who are saying, okay, we're coming back. I do think that there's been proof, and studies around productivity.
Yep.
I think it's really a matter of how are you flexing your muscle to do it in both mediums.
Shade isn't a place you hide. It's where you pause, where you think, where real work happens. Quietly, creatively, and authentically. No slides, no filters. Just candid conversation about a story worth telling. It's not about villains. This is where brand builders, creatives, and storytellers come to share the stories they usually don't tell in pitch decks or press releases. It's about the people who work behind the scenes, challenge the obvious, bend the rules, or build unforgettable brands. This is
Shady Characters.
Well, we're here on Shady Characters today with one of my favorites, Nicole DaCosta, and Nikki D and I go back quite a ways, and I think that one of the reasons that I really felt so compelled to invite you to come on Shady Characters is the way you make people like myself feel when you talk to us. I think that like you bring this level of warmth and you bring this this like unspoken wisdom when you, at least I can attest to the way I feel when I speak to you, and I'm really excited to have you on the show so that everyone else can experience a little bit of that, like that love and that warmth that I always feel when I have a chance to talk to you. So thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, it is an honor and it is my pleasure, and thank you for that. That was so sweet.
What a great intro,
I
right?
know. I feel so warm and fuzzy already. And if you were
Me too.
using my nickname, I get to use yours, Burgher Magic.
All right, let's do
Okay.
it. Yeah, Burgher Magic and Nikki D.
All right.
What are we going to make his nickname?
Timmy D.
Timmy D?
Timmy D, I'm right with you.
Yeah,
Timmy D.
All right.
All right.
It was funny. There used to be, Tim Caliente that worked at.
Tim Caliente?
Caliente. Yeah, his name's
He used
Tim
to work
Caliente.
at Oakley before
Oakley, yeah.
I started there. So
Yeah.
when he left and I came into the marketing team, I would always get his
emails and stuff.
his emails, his phone calls. Like there would be like big name bands calling to talk to Tim, and I would take their call.
Nice.
It's like you're not the right guy.
You're like,
But yeah, so
but
then
I can be.
I became Timmy D.
There you go.
But he made sure to get like backstage passes to all these
yeah.
concerts because
It opened a lot.
yeah, it opened a lot of doors. Yeah, so Nikki D and I worked at Oakley together a
Yeah.
few years ago, and now you're in charge. I'm going to let you say what your title is because I don't want to butcher it, but I know you're doing big important things at a big important electric vehicle startup company, and I'd love to hear about that.
Well, my career has really spanned just if people. I love me some people.
Yep.
And so whether it's developing people, it's providing career.
You found two good subjects right here, by the way. We need help.
We'll talk. No, but anything that's around learning and talent, career development, leadership development, diversity and inclusion and belonging and coaching, like all of those things have really formed the career journey that I've been on, through a multitude of organizations and in different industries and different parts of the country. And so, yeah, anything that is involving people, I'm into it.
Yeah, I like that. How did your path bring you out here to California?
Oh, well, I mean, I was raised in Southern California, but I've just I've bopped around the country going different places, and anytime there was an opportunity for me to say yes to live somewhere different and have new experiences, I was packing up my life and moving, but I'm back in California for the last 4.5 years by way of Dallas, Texas. And just hanging out, roasting out in the desert in Palm Springs.
I came and visited you once. You were living in, it wasn't called Farmers Branch though, it was called something else. What was that area? It was like this new pop-up area outside Dallas that we met up at.
Okay, you came to my office.
Yes.
Yeah, in Las Colinas.
Las Colinas. Outside of Dallas. Yeah, that's
right.
right.
Yeah, but close to Farmers Branch.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Like
Yeah.
our paths just crossed.
I
It's
Yeah.
like,
remember,
what?
but it was when we were all out there, right?
Maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I
so.
remember-
I think we
remember
were
you
out
guys
there
had
for a
met up.
shoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you're back here, and you traded one over hot desert for another over hot desert in Palm Springs. You just couldn't leave the heat behind.
I'm tapping into my inner lizard. Yes, I love it.
So how did you find your way to Rivian?
Wow. Well, that's a great story. So I was in Dallas at the time, working, and it was, 2020. 2020 was kind of a rough year, for a multitude of reasons. And a very, very dear friend, you probably know her, Amy Miller, honestly just reached out to say, hey, you good?
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I'm not good. I'm having on the struggle.
Did it sound more like, hell nah?
No, I was like, hell no. Yeah, no, I was like literally just like hunkering down at my mom's house. I drove from Dallas to, Riverside, California in July because I was like, I can't be here. I need to be around my family. We're all working in this kind of
it's an isolated time, right?
state, and and just the social dynamic, and it was just gross.
Yeah.
And I really was feeling it, and I said, you know what, I'm out of here. I got to go home. And so I packed up my dog and hit the road, and I was in Riverside, and Amy called me and said, hey, I really am doing a human check-in. Are you okay? And I was like, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Everything that's happening right now is really hitting me, and just like devastated about things that are going on in our society. Like, I just can't. And so she says, so I'm at this new company, and I think they're hiring. They're building out their team, and the head of HR, she's amazing. You should meet her. And I said, well, set it up. She goes, well, what do I do? And I said, send her an email and introduce me. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm starting a job there in February of 2021.
Yeah.
And 4.5 years later, here I still am. So it's been a journey. It's been a ride.
What has the growth felt like at an EV startup company in the last 4.5 years?
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Huge. It's I think I started around I was probably in like the 3,500, 4,000 markish, and then to expand to 15,000, give or take. Yeah, it's in a short period of time.
Yeah.
It's very intense.
So
does it feel like a bit of like a roller coaster? 'Cause, I mean, it's like one day it's all EVs, and it's like, no, we're going back over here. No, we're going back to EVs. Does it feel like a bit of a roller coaster on the inside over there, or is it just kind of still just a steady?
I think it depends on like what part of the business you're in, and like being so focused on people, like because we're ramping so much to get to production and start building vehicles, like everything was just like on the steady incline on that roller coaster.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it felt different for different parts of the business, but for me it was just like crank it up and keep going.
Yeah. So working, obviously you've worked at a bunch of established brands, you've worked at a few startups. When you're brought into a company at, kind of its infancy, right? Before it goes public, before it's really like hit its stride, and you're tasked with establishing kind of the core fundamentals of this business, and we're gonna kind of build the culture as we go here. What does that feel like to you? Because that's a big sense of responsibility. But how does it feel to go, hey, what our company's fundamentals are set are in terms of equity and inclusion and belonging and things like that? How does it feel to kind of have your finger on the pulse of what the guidelines and the company's like core responsibilities in those areas is?
Yeah, I mean, well, this is the first time I've ever worked for a company that went public, right? But I think in any organization, when you step into it, you should feel, for me, and I don't know, maybe some people don't care, but I care. I need to feel something, like it's this, it's a very tangible kind of like, or living, breathing experience when you walk into an organization, a building. Yeah, and you're experiencing the people, whatever product or service you create, and does it actually align with you and your values? And I felt that way at Oakley. It's like
Yeah.
it felt like this very living and breathing thing, the culture, right? And so, coming into an organization that is, that is hitting the mainstream, and it's like, whoa, look at this cool, electric vehicle, that's all amazing. But the thing that made it so powerful for me was, and this was when my good friend, Amy, said, hey, there's this company, and I was like, what? And I started reading, I was like, what is this? And I started going down the rabbit hole of YouTube videos, and I'm looking, it's like, because there were no cars.
Yeah.
We weren't even producing vehicles at the
Yeah.
time. And I remember seeing a couple of videos, and I was like, oh, yeah, like I like this. And I sent it to my uncle. This is my uncle, Barry,
Yep.
who lives in Arizona. He has a ranch in the middle of the desert. Don't ask any questions. And I call him Cowboy Barry. I say, hey, Cowboy Barry, I think I'm looking at a new job. Check out this video. What do you think?
Yeah.
He goes, let me call you back. Calls me back. He goes, hey, Nikki, I think you should get a job there. They look like your people. And it was a
that's cool.
video of people like at almost like a campground
Uh-huh.
or somewhere, and just people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
All ages, all different ethnicities, men, women, kids, dogs, I don't think there were any chickens. I wanted to say chicken.
That's called culture.
It's because it just sounded like it would be funny.
They have to
But
be emotional
there-
support chickens.
There was a chicken there somewhere. Maybe it was a fried chicken. I don't know. But
It's either an emotional support chicken or a fried chicken. I don't know.
I'll take both. But he said you should get a job there because he goes, they look like your people.
Yeah.
And I can still say, almost 4.5 years later, yeah,
Feels like your people.
they still feel like my
Yeah.
people.
That's awesome.
And it's
hard to keep that with growth like that too. Like
It
it's
is.
easy to kind of you're running so fast. It's just you need to put
Yes.
put butts in seats and
Yeah, and I think every organization gets to that point. It's like, oh, we just need to fill head count, right? Get moving, fill these seats, and then you're like, but I kind of sacrificed a couple things to get this person in, but it doesn't feel that way, and I think it's important to always go back to your DNA, your mission. Why does your company even exist? And if you can say, like, this is the thing that we're striving for, and this is who we are, and then everything kind of folds around it and gives it a big old hug, and like you just kind of walk arm in arm, and sometimes you're hand in hand, maybe you get a little further away, but you always come back. To me, that's like a magical experience that's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to keep, and so it's like I said, it still feels good
Yeah.
to be there.
Yeah. So you're working in a brand that is very cutting edge, right? This is evolving technology. The platform is constantly changing. The vehicles are getting on the road, but it isn't like General Motors where it's been around for 100 years, right? And so for you, did you have a passion or an interest in getting involved with a vehicle brand, or did you fall in love with it because of the people?
It's funny you ask that, and my answer is no.
Yeah.
Because I never in a million years did I think I would be working in an automotive and tech
Yeah.
organization. I'm a retail, restaurant, hospitality girl.
Yep.
When my mom would ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, I want to be a waitress and a teacher. And my career journey started in both. Like
I think you missed the mark.
no, I didn't miss the mark.
But maybe
I did, and I'll tell you why I didn't miss the mark. So, I mean, I've had the distinct pleasure of doing both. I waited tables and bartended and managed restaurants, going through college. And after I graduated, I went to college to be teeny tiny HBCU in Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Houston Tillotson University. Go Rams. But I went there to be a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be teaching high school.
Yeah.
However, I did teach, and it wasn't for me. I didn't believe in how they wanted me to teach kids. to teach them how to take a
Is it
standard.
because of the curriculums you had to follow, or like
Almost.
what do you mean by that?
It was so dumb. They wanted me to teach them how to take a standardized test versus teaching them how to read and write and think critically. And I'm like, well, that's how they'll pass the test if you teach them those things. Anyway,
You can memorize the test. You
Yeah.
can't memorize critical thinking.
I digress. So I kept working in the restaurant and then moved around with Papano Seafood Kitchen and basically created this career and working in the restaurant, and then still having that education background, stopped working in the restaurant industry, moved into corporate America, and got plucked into doing corporate training.
Yep.
So I still teach, I just don't
Which
teach
would
kids.
be good for a teacher, yeah.
Right, I teach, I just don't teach kids.
Yep. Do you think that? So, I think a lot of what I assume about the reason that you're able to connect with people so well is kind of based on like more principles of personal connection. And I guess where I'm going with that is that you work at a very tech-forward business where probably a lot of employees are encouraged to work remote. They might not have a lot of face-to-face interaction or kind of be tasked or naturally have the inclination to connect face-to-face in the way that you probably do so naturally and easily. Is that something that's hard to overcome when you're working with a generation that doesn't connect face-to-face every day the way that you probably would prefer to?
That is a whole other podcast
Yeah.
talking about how how do we connect today, with
In a
all
world
of
of
the
disconnection.
right, how do we connect, and how are we so disconnected
Yeah.
with all of our technological advances? So
Yeah.
I think like in the workplace, remote working, dispersed teams is it's here. It's
Yeah.
not going anywhere. I know there are a lot of organizations who are saying, okay, we're coming back 5 days a week, and people are like, no, like we've already built a life like where everything works really well and there's balance.
Sure.
So I think like in terms of human connection, can you have human connection over technology? Sure. Is it even better in person? Like we could have done this conversation on a Zoom, right?
But how much better is it to be here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
better.
yeah,
I got hugs today,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So I think it's interesting when you're trying to strike a balance between still allowing people to have the autonomy and freedom to work from home, because for a multitude of people, you can think about working parents, people who are caregivers, people who have some sort of challenge or obstacle with just even socializing in
Sure.
public. Like there are a multitude of reasons why people prefer working at home.
Yep.
And I think it's giving folks the option to do both. I do think that there's been proof, in studies around productivity.
Yep.
People continue to prove that they can do it.
Yeah.
But the social wellness and well-being component of it, that's I think where people challenge. And then there's also the conversation around collaboration. So yeah, I think it's really a matter of how are you flexing your muscle to do it in both mediums,
Yep.
over technology and in person.
Yep.
But yeah, I think there's a whole lot of folks on the struggle bus where
Sure.
they forgot how to people
Yeah.
working remotely for
We-
so many years.
We had a girl that used to work with us. She ended up going to work for a big name agency, and I told her, I said, look, I realize no one's going to be anywhere forever. Like we're all going to move on to do other things. That's just what here we're getting experience so we can go do the next great thing in
I
life.
love
But,
that you said that, yes.
But when she was going there, it was right after COVID. And so it was remote, fully remote. I'm like, I couldn't imagine working in a big creative environment and not coming in and collaboratively being part of something together. Because I remember I came from big advertising, and while it was awful and we worked 12, 14-hour days, that was what was cool about it, is you're there with a cool group of people and the culture was great and you guys were all doing it together. And it's like, if I'm doing that together from my house over Zoom, talking to somebody for 30 minutes and then just going back to my room, like I just don't see the joy in that. And not like you're not part of a team at that point. You kind of are on your own desolate island where
Yeah.
Like what you guys are saying.
It's
Like, I
hard-
think
it's
there's
hard to be in
something
a-
great about being in person.
Hard to be in a foxhole with someone if you're not actually in the
the
foxhole with the
yeah,
person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a
yeah.
great analogy.
Yeah, I can totally understand and appreciate that, and and I again, it kind of goes back to how are organizations creating the opportunities to do both.
Yeah.
Or maybe this company is like, nope, we're fully on site. Okay, well, if that's not what you want to do, then don't work there.
Yeah.
Or there's a company that says we're hybrid. We do 2 or 3 days a week in the office, and then the rest is remote. Perfect. I have opportunities to go people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have opportunities to be at home, and it works for for example, what if you have someone in your family that you have kids, right? I am child free, so that's not something that I have to think about. It's like, oh, school schedules and getting them to and from sports or dance or whatever it is. But there are a lot of people out there who do, and they say like, whoa, the fact that I can work from home these days, I plan my life around this, and I still get my work done. And we're constantly connected to our devices.
Yep.
We're working 24/7, technically.
Right.
If someone pings me on a Saturday, I can
still
choose.
working.
I'm still working.
The
The fact that I
phone
read
is the
it.
death of, and well, email killed it for everybody. It's like back in the day when our parents were growing up, it's like our parents came home at 5, and that was it. Work was over. Like there was
Yeah.
no email, there was no faxes
There were no cell
even
phones.
back
There were
then.
no laptops.
Yeah, it's like they actually got to turn off and have a family that doesn't exist anymore. And I think, yeah, you're right. Like I think that hybrid model has kind of come in and changed that landscape a lot.
Yeah, and I think when organizations are pushing for one or the other, it's like, okay, yeah, you're going to get people who really like those types of opportunities or environments, but it's like looking at hybrid, I think is a wise thing to do.
Yeah. So as someone who peoples so well, like you, tell me a little bit about what Nikki D's future holds here, because I know that you've been kind of growing personally into kind of some new areas. I'd like to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think there's a belief, and maybe this belief is becoming antiquated, right? Is that you have to climb the corporate ladder, to be a success story. And I think success stories can look a lot of different ways, and and it could be to my detriment that like climbing the corporate ladder isn't something that moves me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like, well, within the next X amount of years, I'm going to be this VP or this, chief, whatever. It's like, like to me, it's like the organization, the culture, the people, the work is what excites me, and opportunities for me to try on different hats.
Yep.
So sometimes, we'll talk about career growth, right? And more often than not, when people hear career growth, they think I'm doing this and I'm moving up. I'm taking on leadership roles. I'm taking on a team. I'm leading a function. It's like, career growth can actually mean that you're bouncing to the side.
Yeah.
It could mean that you're changing and moving over to a completely different discipline. For example, I've spent the bulk of my career in learning development,
Yep.
right? Leadership development, onboarding, all of those great programs, right? And I love them. But then I bounced over to the side. I changed disciplines and moved into diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And while I leverage a tremendous amount of skills that I picked up along this wonderful career in learning and development, but it's a totally different discipline.
Yeah.
So and there's a lot of growth there. And then it's like, okay, well, how can I continue to enhance skills, that I have? Okay, well, I'm going to pursue my professional coaching certification. Okay, well, let me do that, And so that's a whole journey. And, like I like to learn. I like to continue to stretch my brain and apply those into my current work and all different facets of my life. So yeah, it's been fun.
So will you kind of parlay that skill set into something that is Nikki D centric at this point?
I think in the future, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think you'd be amazing at that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I received that. Like coaching is applicable all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. My current work future work, whatever it looks like it's always interacting with family and friends, like it's always there. So it's really, it's been a really beautiful journey, just learning a new skill set or fine tuning a skill set that I think we all have.
Yeah.
We just don't we don't realize it or give ourselves credit when we're coaching in the moment.
Yeah. I like that. That's really good. So we've talked a little bit about how, most of your work is remote these days, but you and I shared an office at one point when we were at Oakley, and you rekindled a memory a little bit ago about what it meant to actually be in office with people and having workspaces that you cohabitated with other people, and maybe some of the competition that would be in that office space to make one office better than another, right? And where I'm going with this is the Supercube story.
Yes,
And
the
you know what's
Supercube.
funny is, I'm sure we've all seen it, but the show The Office, NBC sitcom, they did an episode where they kind of had their version of a Supercube.
They stole that idea
We
from
did
us.
this way before them, by the way.
They stole it.
Way before them. This is well before The Office came out, and
There was a
we
mole.
built Supercube.
Yeah, there was a mole somewhere. They stole that idea. We didn't get paid, Evan. We
You
didn't
guys
get
need
paid
credit.
for
Yeah,
it.
you guys need credit.
So,
Yeah.
so do you remember? Having worked at Oakley, you remember, the gray cubicle,
Oh, yeah.
sea of gray cubicles that there would be, and there was one department that Nicole and I worked in together, where we kind of took it upon ourselves to try to elevate these.
We took it apart.
We
No,
disassembled them.
Evan, call the thing. We took it apart. Rephrase. You took it apart.
It's like
You
Office
took it apart.
Space when he
Yeah.
undrills it and the whole thing goes.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah.
Pretty much. You took we had individual cubes. We were separated by a wall. There was like 3 or 4 cubes in a row, and then an open space in the middle, and then there was an office for El Jefe, with the little clear panels,
Clear panel,
right?
yeah.
And then there was
yeah.
like 1 or 2 cubes in front of it. So it was like, and you took apart everything, and next thing you know, we had this big space. I think there was a rug in there. We brought a conference room table in there.
It wasn't.
It's amazing how much space
book-
there was when all the walls
Well,
weren't
the
there.
walls were gone.
Bookshelves. We had bookshelves. We had all our training stuff. We had our supplies.
Like a beer fridge.
You know what I
Maybe it
didn't.
was.
You know what it was is I felt like everyone was walled off.
Yeah.
And we had to find a way to bring everyone together.
It was
and
so
it was
good.
like bringing. We kind of built a fortress around
Yes.
ourselves. And
It was
kinda
so
had this,
good.
This open concept living plan, maybe is what Joanna Gaines would call this, right? And
She stole our idea.
she,
She
yeah.
didn't-
So now he's
Joanna
claiming
Gaines cut us
Magnolia
a
as
check.
his idea too.
But we called this Supercube, and Supercube was pretty special,
Supercube was
and
amazing.
it was very fun, and we got to live in Supercube together in a space that was much more inspiring than the sea of gray cubicle walls around us.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then we had the epic moments of playing bananagrams.
Yep.
So okay, so the bananagrams is a game, and it comes in like a little canvas
like a banana.
zipper.
Yep.
Yes, it looks like a banana, but it's like it looks like Scrabble tiles, and basically you all are creating your own Scrabble boards. But the beauty of it was whenever because we worked really hard.
Yep.
It sounds like all we're doing is tearing apart stuff and playing bananagrams, but we worked really hard, and there were moments where it's just when there's a concept called overfishing the pond, and so when you are out of ideas,
Yep.
don't keep
You go straight to
forcing-
bananagrams.
Go straight to bananagrams. Don't force it. Don't force it, because you need to let the pond replenish. You need to let your brain refill with new ideas.
Now we
and-
just type it into ChatGPT and it gives us the idea. Isn't
no,
it great?
yeah. I mean, well, maybe sometime, but take a moment and
Yep.
then have some fun. And there's competition. So yes, if you don't, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna bring you guys some bananagrams, because
Yeah.
I see a conference room table over
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I
You
mean,
would love
I
it.
mean,
I don't think I've heard the term overfishing the pond, but I think that's a great term.
It's from
and
a book called The Artist's Way.
Okay.
The Artist's
All right.
Way.
Yeah.
I want
I
to say
like
at
that.
work, but I'm
Yeah.
probably adding. But it's The Artist's Way. And it's like a book on like creativity and
Yep.
like thinking, and it's one of the books I had from graduate school.
Yeah,
It
I love
couldn't
that.
be more accurate, and it's funny because we all work on such expedited timelines, and we're trying to just get things done. And it's like, all right, we have one day to concept, and sometimes you don't have the idea, and that's exactly right. Like creativity isn't like you just turn it on and off, and it, like you instantly fulfill this like checklist that you've
Yeah.
got. Like sometimes you got to sit on it and think.
Yeah, you
and
need to-
it's like
you
the
need a
creative
minute.
process takes time. Yeah,
Take
It's
a
not- It's
minute.
not like a math equation.
You
Exactly.
got to recalibrate with banana grapes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love
Exactly.
that.
Or air hockey, whatever your
Yeah,
shtick is.
yeah. Well, this has been so fun. Thank you for coming in and giving us your time, and really loved hearing your stories and having you be one of our Shady Characters, and I appreciate you so much.
Oh my gosh! Thank you
I
for
had a
having
good time
me.
too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Timmy D.
Timmy
D.
D.
Thank you, Timmy D. Burger Magic. This has been great. Thank you for having
Nikki
me.
D, thank you for coming on. We'll see you
Awesome.
soon.
Thank you.
Are you staying out here tonight? Oh yeah, staying at Amy's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Are you
Oh,
sleeping
that's
in the
fun.
van?
Huh?
Are you sleeping
Yeah,
in the
it's
van?
sleeping in Goldie.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'll sleep in my own car if I can do that. No.
It
I'm
smells
I'm-
like old gasoline and Doritos.
I'm an indoor cat. I'm an indoor cat.
I'm an indoor cat.
I don't know if I would make it.
Not an outdoor.
Like,
not
you
an
wanna go
adventure
camping?
cat.
I'm like, am I gonna die?
Yeah.
I'm a cat that loves the montage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was funny. My in-laws, like my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, they always get like this place down in Mission Beach in San Diego for their like vacation rental. They go down there for a week. And my father-in-law was like, "Yeah, I'm not really a Mission Beach guy. I'm more of like a montage guy."
Respect.